What's up, everybody? My name is Jay, and welcome to Jay Book Reviews. This will be my very first book review I'll be doing today, and the book I'm going to review is Stephen King's first ever novel, Carrie. This book was released in 1974, and the book has made over 1 million copies on its first year. And to that, I'm surprised that was for a first time novelist, that is pretty fucking amazing. Now, I did do my research before I was going to go through this. This wasn't the first thing he's ever published. He made short stories in the past. One of them was The Glass Floor. It was published in 1967 by Starling Mystery Stories, I presumed. And he made others such as Strawberry String, Night Surfed, and Graveyard Shift, and many more. Now, sorry if I lost or I went a little backtrack for a second. You guys want to know about the book, right? Okay. Now, I do warn for minor spoilers because I will be going through some parts in the book that I will probably spoil. I'm not going to spoil the rest of the book, not until one part occurs. And when I'm done talking about the premise, I will talk about my own opinion and what do I think about it. Alright? So let's just dive into it. The story is about a girl named Carrie White who is this shy, awkward teenage girl who gets picked on by her peers at school. The reason why she gets picked on by everybody at school is because she has a religious mother who is a dingbat, as you can say. She's a crazy, abusive to Carrie and pretty much brainwashes her that everything around her is a sin, and if she doesn't agree with it, she locks her in the bathroom and tells her to pray for God's forgiveness. Now, that's a little crazy. And now in the beginning of the book, Carrie gets pretty much gets tormented by her peers in the girls' locker room. She has her period for the first time. She immediately freaks out and begs for help from her peers because she thought she was dying. She didn't know what a period was. This, of course, doesn't turn out well for her. She ends up getting picked on. Tampons are thrown at her, and they're yelling at her period and plug it up constantly until the teacher starts crashing in and snaps Carrie out of it. Her name is Miss Desjardins, I think that's her name. Sorry if I couldn't pronounce it. The teacher then is incredibly shocked that Carrie doesn't know what a period is and pretty much befriends her in the process. When out of nowhere, one of the ceiling lights exploded. Now, you may be wondering how that happened. Well, I forgot to mention that Carrie has telekinesis, and you're maybe wondering, what is that? Telekinesis is the ability to move things with your mind. For instance, you can grab things, even people, and you can do anything. You can pretty much levitate it, and then you can just throw it against the wall or throw it against anything. You can pick up a car, a cabinet, a book, anything. For instance, this. She keeps it a secret for a long time. She had it since she was a little kid, or she was born with it, and she kept it a secret until the infamous prom night occurs. Now, the teacher ends up helping her out by getting all the girls pretty much punishment, except for one girl who didn't want to go down with a fight, and that is Chris, the main villain, or the bully, in fact. She's this one bitchy character who thinks that she couldn't get away with it, and of course, she ends up going to get Carrie back for what she did. There's another character that was with Chris, and that is Susan, who had a change of heart for Carrie. She ends up helping her out, even though after the locker room incident she was part of, she does have a change of heart. She helps Carrie by getting her a date to the prom with her boyfriend, Tommy Ross, who is the most popular guy in school. Susan asks Tommy to take her instead of Sue. He then agrees on it and takes Carrie to the prom. Everything goes well at the now the prom occurs and everything seems to go right for Carrie. They're having a good time. There's nothing wrong. Nobody's bullying her. She feels accepted, and then out of nowhere, as the results in for prom king and queen, they both win. However, this was a setup by Chris because she wants to humiliate her by dumping a bucket of pig's blood all over her, and it does succeed. And while that happens, her power unleashes, and that's all I'm gonna say for the premise because I'm not gonna say what really happens towards the end or any of the parts in the book because this is the only part I can spoil for now. Now, what do I think about this book? I thought this book was incredibly good, even for Stephen King's first book he's ever made. I found it very complex, and I love the characters in this book. They are so well written in this book. I thought the story was pretty good, and yeah, I found this book really good. And also, I love the telekinesis thing of what she has and the religious aspect to it because there's a lot of religious undertones in this book. There's a lot of themes going in this book with religion. Yeah. Now I have one complaint in this book that I do have one is that the book is incredibly short. It's about 199 pages, and that's why I gave it a spoiler warning because it does have a short. It is pretty short. So now that's my only complaint I have with this book because there's nothing very much I can complain about it. I think the book is well written, and Carrie, even to the character itself, is a well done character. So what do I think about this end? So what do I think about this book? I thought this book was incredibly good. I enjoyed it. I had no problems with it at all. I love the characters. I love the story, and it's a good horror book. It's not that scary. The only thing I found scary in this book is that the bullies, in fact, because I was bullied in school a lot because of my weight, and now in real life this actually happened. You would never done this stuff to anybody because if you'd done it, you would have been in very big trouble today. But back then, bullying was hardcore at the time. But now today, bullying seems to be a little, you know. But I don't provoke bullying. I don't think bullying is good at all. I think it is incredibly bad. But yeah, despite that, I really did enjoy this book. The only problem, I do like how it makes into a documentary style because the prom or the part it takes place in, the story takes place in 1974, but the documentary in these pages, it takes place in 1980 through the survivors of the prom or from people from the prom, how they survived. Yeah, some of them do survive, and they do talk about their experience with Carrie and how they were part of the bully, like they did bully Carrie, or there's other people that talked about the power of telekinesis and how what's it do, and how there are more people like Carrie. But yeah, I love the documentary feeling. It makes it feel like it was like a real disaster. I love that. Now the ending, which again I'm not gonna say it, but I will say the ending is. It did give me a little chills, in fact, because I thought that was make it a really creepy thing that Carrie is not the only one out there that has the same ability, but also others, and I like that. And I'm glad there's no sequel, and I'm glad they made just one book, because this is one of the most memorable horror books in the 1970s. Now, with that in mind, there were 3 movies. There's the 1976 version, which I recommend you seeing that one instead, because I think the other 2 are not that great. Now, the 2002 version does stick closer to this, but it's a televised version, and it's pretty long. It's about like 3 hours long, and it's kind of average to me. Now, the remake from 2013. Now, I did had a paperback version of this one but it was the 2013 edition for the movie tie-in, and I did watch the remake, and I thought it was just the same. It's just like what's gonna happen, but I'd rather just stick to the 1976 version because I prefer that one because that one actually did a great job of captivating the novel. Yeah, I loved it. I enjoyed this book. Now I'm going to give the book a 4.5 out of 5. I really recommend it. It is a really great read. It's incredibly short. You'll probably be reading this in like 2-3 days because it's really short. Um, so yeah, where do I recommend you go buy it? I recommend go buy it at your local bookstore, at Amazon or eBay. Usually eBay is a lot cheaper because you can find things that are a lot cheaper. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching this video. Subscribe if you want to watch more book reviews like this. And yeah, I'll see you guys when the next book review comes. So see ya.